Good evening, Trafalgar Valentine Vehicle Designs. This is my commentary for my recent paintings, a 1965 Ford Falcon. It's quite a simple painting, not much to it. I just start off with a few markers just to get rough lines in and the pencil sketch of the actual vehicle itself. So this on A4 watercolour paper, 300 GSM, stationary island paper. And I just did a brown marker at the bottom with like a highlighter pen and a blue one at the top just to give me just rough guidelines of where I want the colours to actually go. Then I just built up various layers of neutral tones. So I did lots of greens, browns and stuff like that on the lower portions of the vehicle and lots of blues and stuff like that on the top. It's a very kind of washed out kind of look, but I'm looking for the washed out effect throughout the actual whole vehicle, which will get rid of all the white areas of the vehicle, because the white areas and the black areas are the things I want to try and control. So get rid of all the white areas first by washing it with lots of colour. Even though this car is black, I try and avoid using black straight away. Some of the pictures I do use black, but I like to just start with like dark blues first and gradually build it up. So you see with this one I start off with a gunmetal kind of like greyish, bluish kind of tone. Once the watercolour paint is actually dry, then I can actually control the contrast in it by adding some cool shading. Now I can use lots of methods for actually shading the vehicle. I can use pencils, markers and stuff like that, but I decided to just go with a marker pen. So I just did some fine lines first to actually get the straight edges of the vehicle, then gradually built up layers of shading with cross-hatching technique, which is a very quick and easy method of just building up gradual like shadows and stuff. So for the top part of the vehicle where the light hits it, sometimes I don't have any lines at all, but then I get down to a single line which will go crossways, and I try and keep the angles mimicking the vehicle, so if it's like going down and up and around. So, and then when I want to get a darker shadow, I add like a parallel, another line going opposite direction, and then another line going there. So you get one line for the shading, two lines, and then three lines. And then some of the darker areas I even get up to three lines. Then I do this with my Unipen waterproof fine liners. I did this with the gel pen, which reacts to the watercolour paints and stuff like that. So if the watercolour wasn't actually dry at first, the gel pen would actually smudge in it. But it was dry, so it leaves a nice crisp edge. But to actually blend the gel pen a bit together, I used a highlighter pen on top of it, just to help blend some of the darker areas together. I just wanted to build up the areas of highlights in the vehicle, so I imagined that the light was coming from the top left, and I tried to like hit every single point of where the vehicle would be. So as you can see, I did the highlights coming down the actual vehicle from the top of the roof down to the bonnet, down to the wheel and stuff. And then for the background, I decided to do just a cool skull. I just thought it'd be a cool idea, and I should have maybe done this in a lighter tone, but I did it in the same gel pen, which is the same kind of black. The problem is if you use a black background and a black car, they're both kind of flat, and it kind of ruins the actual contrast because they're on the same line of perspective. So then afterwards I decided to use a Halloween makeup paint, which is like a transparent kind of cream. You can use this for, you can use something similar, which is like a very light paint on top, or very like transparent paint. I just used a makeup cream because it was just like one line around. And by using this, it kind of washes out the black areas and leaves them kind of dull and kind of fuzzy and stuff, and smudged it with my finger to give it like a fuzzy line. That way the vehicle, the skull, the background becomes a lot more desaturated and a lot less decontrasted and stuff like that. So it helps pull the skull in the background and brings the car forward. Then I did like a little bit of falcon emblem in just a light bit of brown, and you can barely see it, and then like a little border around it just to finish off the painting. But yeah, overall this was quite a fun one and quite a simple one. Parallel to my previous painting, the Mini, I did this one in tandem. Normally I like to do paintings together, just because I don't like to work on one painting and then start another. I like to work on multiple paintings just so I can like express my creativity, like a half an hour on one painting and then half an hour on another, and then that way it keeps things just fresh. Overall I think that I like the painting itself. I think maybe next time I could maybe not use as much cross-hatching. I think I'm kind of bored of this technique. Maybe, I don't know, maybe use more coloured cross-hatching maybe next time. Maybe some blues or browns or something like that. Though the black is good, but it creates kind of a very dark tone on the actual vehicle. I mean, it suits it because it's black and stuff, but maybe I need more colour in my paintings. When I posted this on Instagram, it was the success wasn't too bad. It got 7 likes and 70 views, so not too bad. 7 likes and 7 views. The next painting I'll be doing is maybe another Corsa, markers maybe, or maybe another recovery truck, I think. We'll see what happens. I've got lots of paintings in mind, and I just pick vehicles by random. Just depends on how I actually feel. This one I just found randomly on Instagram. I just thought it'd be a fun one to actually just quickly bring out. I find black vehicles kind of like one of the easier ones to actually create, and you can also add lots of colours in them, which creates a really cool effect. So yeah, just another random one, because I mean I've done the Ford Falcon, then I did the Mini before that, then I did a Scania truck, then I did a Mustang. So just different vehicles and stuff like that from different areas to bring different kind of customer interest and stuff. The owner did actually share it on his page, which was very good. But yeah, not too bad. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to actually sell the painting, so it's just going to add to the stockpile. But hey ho. Thanks for watching, and if you want to like, subscribe, and all that pish, and if you've got any comments on any of the future vehicles I want me to do, just give us a shout out below. Thank you.